pandemic that had been kept suppressed for centuries has come back. With all its vengeance, it has followed humanity, taking millions of human lives. The situation now is getting worse due to our negligence. Over 2 million people are dying worldwide every year due to this disease. It kills a child every 30 seconds. That is 3,000 children on a single day. It has become a pandemic today and is stretching its arms across the planet. Malaria is an ancient disease, and its description dates back to 2700 BC in ancient Chinese documents. It's also mentioned in the clay tablets of Mesopotamia. And the name comes from the Latin word mala, means bad, and aria, means air. Human malaria is believed to have originated in Africa and has co-evolved along with its host, mosquitoes and non-human primates. The first evidence of malaria parasites was found in mosquitoes preserved in amber from the Paleogene period that are approximately 30 million years old. In the 19th century, a French military physician named Alphonse Laveran discovered the protozoan parasite while he was working in Algeria. Scientific studies only became possible after the discovery of the parasites by Laveran. The real vectors of malaria remained in obscurity till the end of the 19th century. It was Sir Ronald Ross, an officer of the Indian Medical Service working in Calcutta, who, in 1897, discovered that the transmission of malaria is by mosquitoes. This discovery earned him the Nobel Prize in 1902. But it is now well known that malaria is transmitted through female Anopheles mosquitoes and caused by a group of parasitic protozoan. What are protozoa? They are small microscopic unicellular organisms that have a relatively complex internal structure and carry out complex metabolic activities. We cannot see them by our naked eyes as they are less than 40 micrometer in diameter, very much small even compared to the diameter of a single human hair. Then how is such a small organism so successful and dominant in the evolutionary pathway? In order to really understand this, we have to travel back 1.5 billion years into the past. At that time, there were no complex organisms like reptiles or mammals. But these microorganisms were on the earth for billions of years. When comparing the timeline of life, modern humans evolved only a few million years ago. The DNA of these microbes gets mutated, helping them to adapt to different environments. And that process of evolution made them survive to the present day. Malaria is caused by a kind of protozoan called Plasmodium. There are 5 types of Plasmodium. Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae, and Plasmodium novelaceae. Plasmodium falciparum is the most dangerous species of the parasite that causes almost 80% of malaria infection. According to the latest estimates, there were about 207 million cases of malaria and an estimated 6,27,000 deaths. In recent years, malaria has gained the attention of celebrity philanthropists like Microsoft owner Bill Gates, singer Bono, and the political leader Laura Bush. They are only a few of the personalities who have opened their pocketbooks in the hope of eradicating this scourge. The malaria parasite's life cycle is very complex, involving many stages. As the mosquito feeds, malaria sporozoites enter into the human bloodstream. They quickly make their way to the liver and infect liver cells with the help of proteins. The parasites develops into mature schizons, creating tens of thousands of merozoites which burst out of the cell and journey back towards the bloodstream. They then infect healthy red blood cells, reproducing and eventually rupturing the cell, liberating more merozoites, which in turn go on to affect other cells, leading to the massive destruction of red blood cells. A few of the infected cells develop into gametocytes, which can remain in the bloodstream for several days and may be ingested by another mosquito during the subsequent feeding. Inside the mosquito, the gametocytes develop into new sporozoites. Now the human has infected the mosquito, and the life cycle comes full circle and continues. Symptoms of malaria are sometimes similar to those of many other infections caused by other microorganisms. If not treated within 24 hours, Plasmodium falciparum malaria can progress to severe illness, often leading to death. It usually starts within 8 to 25 days following the infection with a fever, then is followed by headaches, heavy sweatings, feeling of nausea, muscle pain, and vomiting. There are records that large amounts of garlic were given to pyramid workers in ancient Egypt to protect them from malaria. For thousands of years, traditional herbal remedies have been used to treat malaria. Progress towards developing malaria vaccines has accelerated in recent years. Increased funding and awareness and advances in science and in vaccine technologies have invigorated this field that had been constrained by an absence of traditional market. Drug resistance poses a growing problem in the treatment of malaria in the 21st century, since resistance is now common against all classes of anti-malarial drugs. The choice of medication depends in part on where you were when you were infected. There is much to be done in the research of malaria and its treatment. The global picture of malaria is widespread, yet most endemic areas are poor communities. Education on the prevention of malaria is greatly needed. Over the past 2 decades, efforts to control malaria have met with less and less success. The risk of malaria is high in thickly populated places. Mosquito elimination and prevention of bites will lower the probability of getting malaria, as seen in North America, Europe, and parts of the Middle East. Discovering safe and effective vaccines against Plasmodium falciparum and Plasmodium vivax will go a long way in preventing transmission of malaria. Scientists are trying new and effective vaccines against these parasites. History has shown that the elimination of malaria can be achieved, but it will take sustained commitment and vigilance. By 2030, WHO, World Medical Council, and other health organizations hope to make a considerable new, innovative medication and viable method of prevention for malaria. In order to eradicate this ancient and prevailing ghost entirely from our planet.